Today we're on Highway 165 south of Las Vegas in the Eldorado Nelson Wilderness area, and give you a good 360 view. Eventually we will name everything that you're going to see as we pan around. But this is really my first time in this area, so I'm not able to identify anything at all. But fortunately, we have Jean-Luc here, who is very familiar with this area, is in love with this area, knows every mountain and hill, and he's going to tell us where we're going today.
So first of all, it's very nice to be with you here today, this amazing day under the sun in the end of November. We are going today to Lonesome Peak. Unfortunately, we can't see it from here. We will see it once we will reach the saddle, just at the end of the shade of this black and dark mountain, which is the Nelson benchmark. It's over 3,000 feet high. There is several feet less on the Lonesome Peak today. So the aim is to cross this long plateau. We can't really see it from here, but there is several dry bed to cross and tiny canyons, and one especially could be tricky because it's so cut it straight that sometimes you have to find a place to go down and then to pops up on the other side. So it will be the first thing to cross, and then we will reach a saddle and we will do a whole panorama once on the saddle. The saddle is just on the right side of these yellow rocks, very sharp rock and bold rocks. So between the yellow rocks and the shade, the saddle is there. So there's plenty of hike to do here. I will show you these Nelson benchmark will be the one of the next adventure too. There is what I call the green and yellow mountain here, which is a beautiful place. We could reach the summit, then going down on the other side and come back by the saddle that we could see. It's a little bit tricky to go down here, but there is a very narrow passage to go down, and all along the Eldorado mountains there's plenty of hike. It's a very not very well explored place, but it deserves the trip. It's an incredible place to hike. No crowd at all. If you like the wilderness and also the wildlife, there's plenty of bighorns that like to rest in these places because it's very there's not a lot of people at all. So we are basically around 2 miles from the Nelson town this way, and then the Eldorado ghost town just 2-3 miles after the Nelson village. So beautiful day, beautiful place to explore. Happy to show you that today, and I hope that you will like to.
I'm sure we will. Okay, let's go for it. Okay, our first point of reference here is between the yellow hill on the left and the darker, higher hills on the right. So we're heading for that point. Here we go.
We will see the Colorado River on the back of these black ridges. So on the back of it, the name of it is Black Canyon. It's the continuation, basically, of the Grand Canyon. The Black Canyon will finish basically to Loughlin, Nevada. On the other side, it's Bullhead, Arizona. It's a kind of panoramic peak to do here, the Lonesome Peak. Amazing to do.
There's that Highway 165, I think it was. And over in this direction, that would be the Scorpion Peak area off of Searchlight Road. And here's one of the high points that we saw a little earlier. So yeah, we're getting some really nice definition at this point. And again, our direction is between the dark ridge on the right and the light yellowish light brown ridge on the left. And look at this. Wow. It's one thing about this area is that it is so you can see so much since there's not a lot of vegetation. You really see the geology just jumping out at you. Okay, and then to complete the 360, Jean-Luc, do you want to say something about the next stretch?
You know, Nelson area is a mining place. It was very famous. They extract tons and tons of gold and different metals here. The thing is that over the original layers of rocks, sandstone, different kind of limestone, etc., several volcanoes erupt along the edges, and we are here on rhyolite igneous rocks, these kind of rocks, with a lot of crystallization on it, and it will be nice to do some zoom of some crystal inside the rock. And so it covers this whole area. The erosion cut through it, and it's a pretty amazing place because the contrast of rocks, colors, and different minerals will be very interesting to discover, and the vegetation too. There's a lot of animals here, wildlife. Snakes are very common here. Tarantula, great place to see tarantulas here. We are in November, we won't see it before end of March now. But look at this place. You have all of this whole area just for yourself. It's amazing.
All right. Okay, Jean-Luc is going to talk about the geology of this area. Pretty fascinating. But what I want to do is zoom in on a crystal in this volcanic rock. There's the crystal. And Jean-Luc is going to talk about the crystal and the volcanic rock.
Yeah, just right here we have what common name is geode, and it could be possible when the magmatic rock, igneous rock, try to reach the surface with a mix of water. So when you see such a kind of crystals, it means that there were water, and the water tried to reach the surface through the cracks that the rocks have all along till the surface. There is a thing that we could say is that there's not a lot of air bubbles in this rock. In this rock we could see some air bubble. It means that it was close to the surface. This rock right here don't have air bubbles at all on the rhyolite, so it don't reach the surface. So we could say that it's magma. Magma never reached the surface. Lava reached the surface. This is the difference. Same rock, but with a different color because of oxidation, presence of water, and presence of bubbles inside the rock. So because you have water that try to reach the surface, it precipitates the mineral salts and the different element in the water, and it starts to agglomerate in the cavity, and it creates a geode. Most of the time there is a hole inside on the center of the geode. So it's pretty interesting to think about it. And when you find a very large crack that are filled with crystallization, basically the water dissolves the atoms of gold deep inside the crust, the earth crust, and try to brings it to the surface. So if you, just like here in this mining area, if you find a large crystallization fault, dig on the fault, break the crystals, and inside you will have a lot of gold particles.
And this is how the miners in the early late 1800s, early 1900s, like Shorty Harris in Death Valley, they were looking for this kind of crystallization which would indicate that there was gold.
Yeah, but the first generation of miners were more searching about gold deposit in the river most of the time. It started in 1849 in California, the first gold rush, and it was commonly accepted at this time that gold was inside the riverbed, okay? Then the geologists put their finger on it, trying to explain the phenomenon, and they discovered that the crystallization fault, filling the fault, are much richer in gold than the gold deposit in the riverbed. So basically, it was easier to find gold with the pan in the river, first step, but then it evolved, and today the big company, the big mining company, try to find the big crystal fault and dig on it deeper and deeper. The deeper you go, the more gold you have.
Okay, we're going to look at some evidence of basalt, which is seen by the black dots in the rock here. Tiny black dots. Evidence of basalt. Jean-Luc is going to describe geologically what's happening here.
Yeah, so this is a rhyolite. You could tell by the color. It contains a lot of iron. The iron in contact with oxygen starts the oxidation process. That's why all the rock surrounding us looks rusty. And inside the rhyolite you have this tiny inclusion of basalt. The basalt comes from a deeper magma, and it pops up and reach the rhyolite rocks, mix a little bit, and reach close to the surface. This rock, for example, never reached the surface. You see not a lot of bubbles where the gas will be released when it reaches the surface because of the difference of temperature and pressure. So just to let you know about these tiny details, to have a different look at the rocks that seems just like stone for everybody, you know.
And you might think about in Death Valley, there's a ghost town called Rhyolite, named for this kind of rock. And there's a huge Shoshone mine, gold mine, that was discovered by Shorty Harris. That was the reason Rhyolite was developed, the largest ghost town in the area.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that they had until 20,000 people digging in this place. There is still the walls of the bank. you could see the place where they have these the place, the safe where they keep gold, bringing there by the miners.
Oh yeah.
And the sad thing or the funny thing is that today there is a company that dig the mountain, but they discover outside the valley where 20 people were working, digging hard for expecting to have some gold nuggets, you know. They extract a lot of millions of dollars, you know. But today, a dozen of people is working on a new mine on the other side of the mountain, just on the other side, and they could extract 20 times more gold than 20,000 people back in the days could extract. So it's kind of sad to think about it. And when you think about the life of these miners, you know, it's very strange. It was a different times. Today,
difficult, hot environment.
Yeah, completely sterile, and you know, the only chance they had was that inside the mine tunnel, it was fresher than outside. It was their only release.
And then if they broke a tool, they had to go, I don't know, 2 weeks by desert road or just the desert pathways to get to the nearest town to replace that tool. It was quite an experience. There's a place called Skidoo, and I've got that on Las Vegas area trails also. One page for Rhyolite, a page for Skidoo. And the thing about Skidoo is that around Skidoo, there are something like 100 small mines. Okay, well, let's continue on toward our goal. At this rate, yeah, it may be a while. But that's all right. This will be an initial exploration of this area, and we'll want to talk about a lot of the geology. And by the way, the ground is very slick here, and if you slip, this is where your feet could land. So just be aware. Okay, onward. Okay, we are closing in on that first opening that we looked at here, the yellow hills on the left and the darker, higher ridges on the right. And here's a look at the area that we are in. This is a first exploration, so everything is new. Now Jean-Luc is going to describe the next stage of this adventure now that more views have opened up.
We will go down the entrance of this canyon, then reach the soft saddle with this golden grass over there that makes a very soft and gentle saddle. Then we will cut the slope until reaching the bridge. It makes a kind of pass. From there we will go on the other side of the pass, trying to find a way to stay on the same altitude, then climbing the final ascent to the summit. From the summit we will follow the ridge on the right, going down on the other side of the mountain that we can see here, and trying to find a way to go down in a very rough descent till the dry bed on the other side. Just a trick, if you find if you go down on this gully on the other side, there is the two branch. Take the one on the left, the one on the right finishes on the vertical waterfall. So it will be follow the left canyon. View from here, it seems vertical on the other side, on the left side of the summit. But what a beautiful place! And once we will reach the bottom of the canyon on the dry bed, we will follow the dry bed. And today I will try to explore the bottom of the dry bed, because I always come back on the side of the mountain, but I don't know if it's possible to come back by the canyon. So we will try to do that, and if we will be stopped by a waterfall or a vertical thing, we will reach the left side of the dry bed to reach the side of the mountain, coming back the same way. So starting from here, we will try to be quiet, because there's a lot of bighorns that nest in this whole area. They occupy all of these ridges, and they will see us coming, so if we make some noise they will run away. I hope to see some today, I really hope, and it will be great to make some pictures of these beautiful guys.
Yeah, look carefully. You'll notice a little pathway. We will call this the Bighorn Express. This is an animal pathway, and animals are a lot smarter than we are. They know where the nicest inclines are, where the most stable ground is, and that's where they travel. So, yeah, the Bighorn Expressway. But you got to look carefully, and it will appear.
Now here we have a nice example of crystallization in a crack inside the rock. It starts here. Beautiful example of crystallization. So because of the heat and the pressure, the water tries to reach the surface, and along the edges create these crystals starting on each side of the crack, and then they completely fill the crack. Beautiful example, beautiful crystals. It shows also that it takes a long time to create it, because a crystal is a sign of slow cooling, and during the same time with under the high pressure. If you want to reach it, view from down below the saddle we reached 2 minutes ago. Don't turn on the right of this outcrop, because it finishes on a plateau, then a vertical cliff, because there's a crack and a river, dry bed that goes this way. So turn around by the left, and it will be easier. Find your way until the lower saddle, and then from there follow the ridges till the summit. It's an easy hike. It's hard to it's hard to climb, but there's no technical difficulties.
Okay.
We have now a good idea of the depth of the canyon on its left. This peak is made mostly of rhyolite magmas.
Remember that yellow hill we looked at in the beginning? And this is what was the darker ridge that's higher. And we said we were going to pass between the yellow hill and that darker ridge. Here's what the terrain looks like when you get close. And look at this. who would have known that we'd be in terrain that is so varied? You look at it on a map and it looks like you could walk there in about 20 minutes. But look how things appear once you get out here. And here is that grassy hill. That's the grassy hill we saw from the beginning. That's our next waypoint. Again, there's that passage between the yellow hills on the right and the darker, higher ridge on the left, and we passed through that just now. And we'll just take a quick view of the area here.
We hit the first saddle that marks the entrance of this canyon. Follow the water line, trying to reach the second saddle here. Beautiful cholla cactus. Don't come here with naked feet, because this guy will remember you how cruel they are.
They're not only sharp, but they have barbs.
Yeah.
So you try to pull it off your skin,
Yes.
your skin will want to pull off.
And plus there is an association between the cactus and some bacteria. And so when you're stung by these thorns, it breaks because it's made of silicium. But at the surface of the silicium, the cactus make a secretion, make of a kind of sugar that the bacteria love to eat. So when you have a piece of this thorn under your skin, not only it's very hard to remove the thorn, but also you have a lot of infection. This is a little beast.
That's why David's nickname is Rattlesnake Cactus.
I call it a Navarro chair. So and this is where we have to cut all of these slopes, not being too high, because the higher you will be, the deeper will be the gullies coming from these ridges. We will reach the saddle right here, turn on the back of it, and then we'll start the final ascent. Better view here. You can judge how deep the canyon is now. And yeah, amazing place. So once again, when we will reach the summit over here, we will follow the ridge on the right, finding a way to go down on the back of this mountain, and then following this canyon, which is on the side of the mountain, or just like I would like to do, reaching the canyon that will bring us directly to the top of this saddle that was the first landmark to aim before descending. So beautiful place.
Okay, the next stretch is down this gully. There you can see it now. And you can see the terrain here. There's the channel we came through just a bit ago. Yeah, distances and difficulty is very deceiving when you look from a distance. You think things are closer than they actually are, and you think they're easier than they actually are. Welcome to the desert. Continuing downward, nice grassy area, a little more gradual than what we just experienced above. New area, new landmarks. There's that yellow hill. That's a good reference point. Good reference point for the return trip. And trying to follow the Bighorn Express Trail through this terrain. And every time I think I'm on it, it disappears. I think the bighorn sheep are somewhere up in the hills laughing at me right now.
We could see over there the saddle where we come from. David is cutting the slope right here. Don't go too high because the higher, the deeper the ravines are. And we could clearly see now the saddle to reach just right here. So when we will turn on the back of it and following the back of these first ridges, it will be tempting to try to reach the southern side of this mountain, but this is a very bad idea. So we will follow the back of these ridges and then turning around the valley on the back, and then start to climb directly to the summit rather than to try to climb this way. Beautiful scenery. Right here on the outcrop in the middle there's a beautiful arch that we can see from here, and there's another one here. I will take a picture of it. Okay, I am just underneath the little path. Give me a minute to reach this point, and we will have a nice view on the other side. Look at that. Deep canyon. and nobody can guess such a landscape. Seeing from the Route 165, down below run the Colorado River, and the windmill of Dolan Springs wash over there. Let's run from the left till the right, and there's a whole valley that makes a kind of large gully where the wind blow. Amazing place. Okay, from here we will cut the slope here, then going down a little bit to reach the gully that will bring us to the summit. We will reach the summit just on the right of it, on the flat rocky ridge, and then do the last few feet to reach the very summit. So once again, once we will be there, we will be following the ridge, going down a little bit, and then find the first gully on the other side and descending directly through the wash down below. The wash turn around the mountain and we'll be here reaching the saddle over there to exit to the final plateau to the car. David will be there in minutes. What a view, pretty wild and rough, amazing. I don't want to be here in the summertime, but what a place.
Okay, we just passed through this terrain. As we made our way from that saddle between the Golden Hill and the higher ridge on the left. Look at this. Wow. Jean-Luc, tell us what our next stretch is.
You have a beautiful view over the Black Canyon. Down below runs the Colorado River, and now that I am thinking about it, this mesa that we'll see, which is a lava flow, the remnant of an ancient lava flow, is not Fortification Hill, because down below we have the Colorado River. So Fortification Hill is over the Lake Mead, and I don't recognize the colors. So to me, Fortification Hill is much more on the north. The Colorado River runs this way, southbound, and approximately 20 to 30 miles southbound from here. The mountains, and by the way, the Black Canyon stops. Then the Colorado River will enter the Needles, big and large washes, to finally leave the Arizona and California border to enter Mexico, and reaching the Sea of Cortez between Baja California and the continental Mexico. So it's amazing to think about the Grand Canyon in this direction. Then the Colorado River is calmed down on the Lake Mead because of the dam, the Hoover Dam, and then flow southeast bound in the Black Canyon. Black Canyon, why Black Canyon? It seems evident because of the numbers of lava flow and the colors of the rocks. Mostly black, brown, dark, gray. The view is amazing. There's not a lot of people around here, and definitively a great panorama point to be.
Okay, the next stretch is over this ridge. You see Jean-Luc ahead there. And the terrain. And here we go. There's Jean-Luc ahead, and we're following the Bighorn Express. You can see a slight trail. You know that, yeah, you could go higher and it would work out, but you definitely don't want to be traversing the area below us. So, yeah, stick on the Bighorn Express. Okay, and this is an area just north of Laughlin. What dam is it?
Davis Dam.
Davis Dam. Okay, so Colorado River Valley down there, or channel. And the Bighorn Express trail that we have been following up here. Okay, continuing onward.
And by the way, we will cut the slopes underneath this rocky outcrop. We will reach the southern side and find a way to reach the central gully, probably on the side of it, and then reach the gully, and then
take the gully up.
Yeah, up, straight up. Then once we are mid course, it will be much easier to reach the summit, and pretty fast.
And then what does the other side? We're going to descend on the other side?
Yes, once.
How's that look?
So basically it will be the same profile on this one.
Okay.
But not on the left of it. Okay, it will be on the back of it.
Okay.
And on the back of it, it will be the first gully that we will find following the ridge that we will find. Because the ridge make a Y. It's not, the ridge don't follow this one. It's divided in two parts. The one that we can see here, we will follow it for 100 yards, something like that, and then going down in something that will be like that. But we will reach a fork down below, and we will be on the left fork, not on the right one that finishing and by a vertical waterfall.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do it. I said this is an easier route than what it looked like back where we stopped last, except I believe that it could turn evil very fast.
Tiny evil.
Okay.
Look at this view. The Black Canyon down below with what I think the Navarro Lake, the Davis Dam, Davis Dam, yeah, in that the Davis Dam in Laughlin stop the river underneath the Hoover Dam. And this is, by the way, the Colorado River channel. We are looking at the foothills in Arizona, and we are on the very last slopes of the Nevada border. The state line is in the middle of the river, in the middle of the lake here. So you have a good idea of what it looks like here, but you know,
what is your good idea? Because I'm not seeing it right now.
it's not that bad. You have to take care a bit. It's not
Where are
that.
the bighorns? They better not fail us now.
Yeah, we are on the Bighorn Express Highway. We saw a lot of evidence, prints, poops. Lots of prints here. I could see coyote prints too. So just stay underneath the rocky outcrop. We will reach the gully there pretty fast, and then the summit pretty fast.
Here we are continuing on the Bighorn Express Trail, and yeah, we're not going up there. For me, that would be an entire day of climbing. Little of the Colorado River channel. And onward over the next bend.
So we have to go down a little bit over this rocky plate to turn this outcrop that finishes by a vertical fall here just on the back, and then we will be underneath this big bush or tree over there, ash tree probably covered with parasite plant, red, and then we will start to reach, to make a huge circle underneath the last rocky outcrop. Once again, amazing view. David, did you expect to be in such a place when we left the car?
No, it's like after we walked a little ways from the road, the bottom fell out. and all of a sudden we find ourselves in the French Alps.
Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, it's a very surprising place because view from the road, it seems just like a long flat plateau till you can see the horizon, the end of it. But once you're in the back of it, you discover that it's digged by erosion, and it creates these huge mountains that falls down till the river. So this is the last series of peak rocky outcrop, and then a series of foothills till the river. Beautiful place. Once again, the summit and the route to go.
Now I must have diverted from the Bighorn Express.
Yep.
Now I'm on Raven Ridge. Oh yeah.
Okay, now we will go down this gully, or the one on the right or the one on the left. View from here, the one on the left seems better, and then it will be much easier and less slippery. The problem here is that you have these very flat rocky surface covered with gravel, so watch your feet. We have the little view right here is the rocky outcrop that we have to go down, turn around, otherwise it goes practically straight to the saddle over there. Once again, amazing view. Look at that. Erosion at work. And the last slope till the summit.
Okay, we just came around the creepy corner. There it is. And we entered the ladder gully. And here's Jean-Luc ascending the ladder gully. Yeah, looks good.
It's more reassuring once you reach the gully, because you are surrounded by two sides of the mountain rather than having the emptiness underneath. But honestly, if you're afraid by the vertigo, don't come here. But it's not that bad. We follow the Bighorn Express trail, and the good thing is that if you have to come back the same way, you have to remember from where you come, taking some landmark. For example, we reached this gully just after this yucca plant. We went underneath the rock outcrop there, then we cut through it. So you have to remember when you have to come back. I did twice this summit. The first time I don't dare to go on the other side, but the second time I discovered this ravine on the other side. And the first time I was a little bit worried to don't find my way back, losing too much altitude, so I took a lot of landmark to come here. And this is the way you have to think.
Okay.
Look in front of you, but turn your back to remember from where you come from.
That's a good plan. Let's see if I can turn. Speaking of turning, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's looking down the gully. That's looking over. And this is the side of the hill that we have just traversed. So, yeah, here we are heading up the gully. And you ask why I didn't take more videos as I ascended this gully of death. The name should pretty much explain that. It's not horribly bad as long as you know where the steps are. Quite the ladder, and oh, I see horizon above, which means we are close to a summit. Yes. The last steps till the ridge and the summit right here. You have an idea of the percentage of the slope. David follow me in a security distance just in case I release by mistake a rock. In this case I will scream a rock and he will watch at me to see where will fall the rock. So we proceed by stages. I go a little bit
higher than him, then I waiting for him without risking a falling rock on him. Just like I said once on the gully, everything is much smoother. The slope is hard, still hard, but no big deal.
It's all right.
Everything's alright.
It's all right as long as you know where the stairs are.
It's alright until you think about it.
Yeah, don't look back. Yeah, just take one step at a time.
But I agree that you need to be familiar with such a percentage of slope to dare to come here. I mean, from the car till the saddle over there, till the second saddle, it was possible for everyone to reach it, but you have to feel confident in such slope. Okay, once again, the final
Don't do
steps.
this during rattlesnake season.
But at least it make a good lunch.
That's right. They and their bighorn friends.
David finishing the last difficulty in the gully. On the background, a better view on what I think is the Navarro Lake. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. And this is the final steps to the final ridge. The summit just right here. Look at that. Oh, now I could see Fortification Hill in front of us. Wilson Peak here facing us, and we were on the Wilson Peak in Red Rock Mountains, hidden by the Scorpion Peak here. Las Vegas just on the back of the second line of ridges, Boulder City here, all around flowing the Colorado River that enters the Navarro Lake. It could be Mojave Lake, I don't remember. Next time I promise I will pay more attention to the name of the surrounding landmarks. So, look at that. This is where we will go down in this gully. We will follow the ridge, go down until this saddle, and go down to reach the canyon down below. And here, the summit. Here we are. So there is several oases down the 2 days dry riverbed, but when it's raining, all of these gullies bring back the water to the same place. It gives enough resources for some dense bushes to find some water deep below. The car is on this way. We came by the second saddle right here through the slopes that where we had the first saddle that goes down in the canyon.
Okay, we're near the top of this gully. Wow. And the reason that I know I've done steeper gullies is that in this case I did not get sewing machine leg, which I referred to earlier in videos, and that's where your leg acts like it's another part. It's part of another body, and it uncontrollably starts shaking. Nope, that didn't happen here. It has happened on Mummy Mountain in a few places, but look at this. Yes, and we ascend to the summit. Please be a nice gradual hill on the other side, but we'll find out. Oh yeah. Okay. Definitely more of the same here, but that's all right. We'll find a nice route back down. Here's Jean-Luc at the summit.
Welcome home.
Any memorable summit words to share with us?
It was easy.
Oh yeah? Yeah, those words are memorable. Couldn't have done better. Well, let's see if we can take the last few steps and then do a 360-degree view. Oh, yes. And let's see. I think that our route that we came was right through this opening. And then we headed around to that saddle and then clung our way along the edge of that slope, trying to stick to the Bighorn Express Trail. Eventually we reached, let's see, no easy places to stand, no soft landings. Okay, yes, we eventually reached this gully about halfway up. Let's see if we can get a good shot of it. Yeah, we'll call this a good shot. So this gully about halfway up, then we ascended the gully, and here we are on the summit ridge. And then you can see Jean-Luc heading in a direction that looks like there is no potential path down, but
Yeah.
we'll
We
let
have to, the summit is just right here,
yes.
and then we will follow this ridge till the very end, turn left, descend losing a lot of altitude. It's an easy descent. And if you come right here, we will see the gully between the two outcrops with a yellow stain on the left side of the ridge. We will go down this way and taking good care to stay on the left of the gully to don't be stopped by a vertical cliff, and pretty fast, in 20 minutes we will reach the bottom of the gray bed on the bottom of the canyon down below.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And then we will follow the dry river bed. There's a fork that divided the two sides of the canyon. I always did the left fork. If we are in time, I will try to explore the right one, because I never did it this way. But one day I was on the ridge looking down below, and I can't see everything, but I was expecting to see some vertical waterfall. So we will see this time, okay, if we will take the right gully, and if we are stopped by an obstacle, we will cut on the left side of the central hill to reach the summit that will bring us to the saddle that mark the exit to the flat plateau to the car.
Okay.
So it's noon and 45. We will spend a couple of minutes here.
See what time it is when we hit the bottom there.
Yeah, so it will take an half an hour to go down. It will be pretty fast, pretty rough, okay, but fast.
We could do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Let me try it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, it will take an half an hour to go down, and then at least 2 hours to reach the saddle, then an half an hour to reach the car. Okay, so it will take between 3 and 4 hours. It's soon 1 p.m. We are in the shorter days of the year, so we don't have to spend too much time here. I prefer to spend time down below to be comfortable to come back to the car.
I'm for that. And now looking down to the Colorado River Basin. There's a wide spot of lake. We're thinking it could be Mojave Lake, but not totally certain. There is Mount Wilson. That pointy mountain. Mount Wilson, Arizona. And if you see the Mount Wilson video and adventure, yes, you'll see what the world looks like from the summit of Mount Wilson, and perhaps even be able to pick out this location.
Boulder City over there.
Oh yeah, Boulder City. There it is.
And on the right you have a fortification hill.
Ah, okay, yeah, we mentioned Fortification Hill.
Yeah.
We had the wrong hill. I had the wrong hill. Give credit where credit's due. There is Fortification Hill.
And if you come back this way, Mount Wilson, Arizona side.
Oh, that's Mount Wilson. Okay.
Mount Wilson here.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the Dolan Spring Wash, where there is all of these windmills, and I recognize the mountain of Dolan Springs over there. But on the very left of this mountain chain, on the very background, on the back of the last mountain, this is where there is the
West Grand Canyon sky walk in the sky.
Oh,
So basically this is the very end of the Grand Canyon, just on the back of this mountain over there. And this is also not too far where the Colorado River enters the Lake Mead, just on the left of it.
okay. That's exciting. Okay, let's head down. Okay, here we're looking at Boulder City. River mountains in the background. And very faintly, the Mount Charleston Wilderness. That very faint high point. Okay, there's the summit. And we just followed the summit ridge to the right, came to this spot, and here is our descent point. And you can see Jean-Luc descending. Looks nicer than the ascent point, I can tell you that. And we're going to descend down to that yellow blotch, and just before the blotch, where you see that little line of bushes, we're going to head downward and end up down in the gully below. So there you have it. Let's do it.
We follow the ridge that divides in two parts, one on the right that goes down the canyon, one on the left. And when we will be on the first saddle where there is this yellow stain, we will start to descend just before the yellow stain, straight down, taking good care to be on the left of the gully. So it will be tempting to go down this gully, which is the same gully than the other branch right here, where there is this yellow stain, but because it will be easier to go down along the ridge, it will be simpler to go down this way. So you could see that at the moment you will have the temptation to stay on the main gully, but we will climb this rocky outcrop on the left to reach the dry river bed, because in the right branch there is this vertical waterfall that needs to be crossed with climbing gear.
So we are at the saddle that marked the entrance of the last descent to the dry river bed. Here is the yellow stain. We will go down this way, reaching the main gully, staying on the bottom of the gully, but once we will see the divide, we will stay on the left of it. Don't forget the right branch finish over a vertical cliff that you don't want to go through without climbing gear. So we will be underneath the last rocky outcrop down below, and very fast reaching the dry river bed.
And here we are, looking back over to Colorado River Basin. And Jean-Luc beginning his descent.
So David is finishing the descent to the little saddle with the yellow stain. Once again, the last view to the Colorado River channel. Here's the saddle and the steep descent till the dry river bed. So it's probably 60 or 63 degrees Fahrenheit, means 16 to 17 Celsius, something like that. But the descent on the shade, I am afraid to be a little bit too cold, and there's not a lot of places over there to release the bag and take a jacket. So I will put my jacket, not only for the cold, but also if I fall down, I don't want to cut my arm skin, because these rocks are very sharp. Remember that once we will hit the fork in this gully, we will aim to the left branch of it. Beautiful rocks collapsing, erosion result on the cliff facing us. The last foothills of the Black Canyon. David is just there. So we left the ridge over there where the sun is still rising. This is the main stream, and it goes through the zigzag, through this very tiny gorge. We want to be over the rocky outcrop on the left to reach the gully on the other side. The waterfall is just at the end of this curve, so if you go on here, you have to come back and turn around this outcrop. So be aware of that. This is the only difficulty of this thing, to don't engage yourself in a bad way. Just like I was expecting, it's much colder here in the shade, and it was nice to have a jacket. Sorry, I am playing with my shoes. What did you say?
You're gonna end up in that gully, right?
No, you don't want to follow the main gully. You have to be on the left of these rocky outcrop that start to close the thing, and then it will be easier.
Yeah, that sound you hear is Jean-Luc sliding down this rocky area like he's on skis. And we're going to go over this next little ridge and then take a right and continue downward. So we're about halfway down that gully from where we began to descend just a moment ago up above. So you get an idea where we are. So this is the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we did 2 translation on the 2 gullies on the left. Now you could see the waterfall here, and that's why we turn left twice. We are now 2 gullies on the left of the main one, over the rocky outcrop, and it's much easier to go down now. There's plenty of evidence of bighorn sheep here. They probably use this slope as a summer resting place. because you could feel how much colder it is. So look at that. Bighorn Express Trail. So many people don't like the descent. Personally, I love it. I don't want to fall on this little guy. This guy have a transparent thorn that you can see with your naked eyes. And if you put your hand on it, it's completely crazy to remove the thorns. Still looking to try to see some bighorns. These little guys are probably hidden in the back of the ridges all around us. I hope to see some before coming back to the car. We are probably now at the half of the descent, and we did the worst.
Avoid these first two gullies because there's quite a drop off. Okay, we just did a delightful little traverse across these rocks. And we wanted to avoid these first two gullies because there's quite a drop off down there. And now we're heading down what looks like, at least from this point, like a fairly nice slope. And then here's the terrain around us. Always spectacular. And there's where we began our most recent descent. That yellow area, yellow soil up there that you can't see. Okay, down we go.
Completely insane, it's so beautiful. All in a rock. Amazing.
Okay, yeah, we are halfway down this wonderful gully, and yes, much nicer than that traverse above. Let's see if we can do a 360 here. I think we've descended enough that you cannot see the summit from this point. And you can see where, yeah, we have a little more to go here. And let's get a shot of this beautiful little opening. And Jean-Luc will now tell us what's next.
So basically we reach the final descent to the dry river bed over there. Once we will be there, we will turn left. Just like we said, the next step will be reaching the fork that we see from the summit and making a point with the time to see if it will be okay to go on the deeper canyon that I never explore, rather than being on the much more profiled left side of the mountain. We will see that over there. And so basically, as you see, it's pretty rough to descend, but there is no real danger, except that you have to take care, watch your step, taking care, going slowly, and rather than being just like me, crazy, going down.
Be like me, 3 points of contact the whole way down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
down we go.
Yeah, let's go.
And now we look down, and we are very close to the wash below. So we'll be entering that wash, going around this corner here, and then looking for that fork in the wash that Jean-Luc told us about.
So here I am on the bottom of the gully, and in a few steps I will be down below. You could see some oasis in the middle of the desert. It's amazing because the orientation of the fault makes that some water could be stored on the fault that are oriented like that, and so it stores some water enough to give a chance to these bushes and trees to grow down the canyon. Okay, the top ridges are over there. David is a few steps behind me. He prefers to go slowly, and security first always, so it depends of your confidence, so everybody have to adapt his step to his confidence. We have to turn around the mountain, and then the fork, we will decide at the fork if we continue left or right. We'll see. I could hear some bird screaming, probably at us. Oh, I see that. It's a flight of quails, desert quails. I will have a snap, a quick shot with the zoom at these guys here.
And here we are on terra firma, down in the wash. There's Jean-Luc. We'll be looking for that fork in the wash soon. And there is, over this last little ridge, is the descent gully that we took. Or I should say descent gullies. There were a series of gullies. With some small, terrible traverses. Well, Jean-Luc, do you want to tell us about what's coming up?
Yeah, just like we said, we will follow the dry river bed until the fork that divided the main river bed on the right, but I never explore it, or the left one that will bring us, if we take this way, gradually to the second saddle that we had to aim this morning, then reaching the first saddle that we had this morning, and then crossing this high altitude plateau, cut it several times by this tiny ravine to the car. So it will take at least 2 hours and a half, 3 hours now to reach the car from here.
Okay, that puts us about 4:30, which is dark.
Yes, so we have to...
You got to move.
Yeah, we have to move. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Back on the sun. So the quails flew away from me in this direction, and we were talking up here about seeing birds, insects, and especially doves, bees, flies, all of these animals need some water, so seeing some quails is a good indication that contrary to the evidence, we could find water soon. Some ponds or resurgence of some springs. We'll see.
Continuing along now in this wash. And then down the wash and across. I'll see if I can identify these peaks and annotate them in the video. No promises. Okay, we've continued through this wash. And looking around the direction we are headed. Wow. Very, very rugged country. So we're going to continue in this wash. And I believe on the way we skirted the closer base of this huge ridge up ahead. So we'll see if that is true. And then here's looking around. What a day. And this must be a spring of sorts because a lot of plants indicating a lot of water not too far beneath the surface.
Going upstream on the wash. Oop. Plenty of trees on the side, bushes. This is the end of the dry season. Rain will fall one of these days. It will bring back some green in this valley, fortunately. If you come here in the springtime, there's a lot of ponds of water with plenty of birds, frogs from the ponds. Cactus on a rock, and inclusion of rocks. This is the result of a volcanic blast. This is volcanic ashes, and when the volcanic ashes erupt, it accumulates. But during the explosion, it pushes in the air some fragment of rocks of the primitive rocky surface, and everything fly in the air to be included when the ashes fall down on the ground. Beautiful geode. The core is empty, just like most of the geode. Take care where you put your hand, because these compass barrel cactus are ready for you always.
Okay, here's a look down the wash we have just traversed. Surrounding mountains or hills. Very, very rugged around here.
the back of Lonesome Peak. We descend on the back of this yellow outcrop, reaching the dry river bed. Here there's a lot of vegetation. It's a kind of oasis. Could be very bushy. Yeah. You see what I mean? This thing is thorny as hell. Here we are in a more open section. If we go this way, we will completely bypass the first saddle to reach directly the second one that will really lead us, if everything okay, to the main higher plateau. So let me check the hour. It's 2:30. We still have
2 hours of light.
Yeah, 2 hours before night. 2 hours and a half. So what do you think?
Whatever you want.
You're okay to go on the right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect. We will see. If we are stay stuck, we will have to find a way to climb on the left somewhere to reach the upper ridge that fly over this. Okay, let's go on the right. I never did it. It will be the discovery. The problem in such places is that you could progress and suddenly you are facing a vertical cliff, impossible to pass. So it most of the time happens when you are in a very narrow passage, when you see the cliff on both sides coming closer. You have to expect a vertical cliff. So when you see the cliff coming close, start to think about an exit solution. Beautiful cactus on the side. So this is what I was expecting to see, the two sides of the canyon coming closer and closer. We'll see. So the first difficulties that I was expecting, we have the choice to turn it by the left or by the right. It seems that until the very last rock over there, it will be tricky to find a way. We'll see. There's an escaping route just right here. So, okay, let's go.
How's it look up there?
I don't know yet. So at least the next 30 yards looks okay. We will see the 30 that follows these first ones. I will join you back.
Okay.
So this is what I was expecting. We will try to turn around by the right side and we'll see.
How's it look up there?
It looks wide open, wider, much wider. So I will continue to,
Like we could continue upward.
yeah, I will stay on the side. But now I am feeling much better because there is a several escape route just after that. So it will be much easier to go through all of those. Okay, let's go. You're okay?
I'm good.
Now I feel much more confident
That's what you said a while back.
because this is the last difficulty. I think we are out of problems. So basically it's possible to come this canyon without too much problem. So, you know, just like I said, when you see the two sides of the canyon coming close, any event due to the erosion or the collapsing rocks could be a problem. I was facing a vertical 30 feet high.
Okay, after a lot of climbing, you see the latest, greatest up this gully. A lot of boulders and continuing up in this direction. Looking for that original saddle that we crossed after we left Highway 165.
Yeah. So we are basically back on the sun and out of troubles because the saddle that we reached this morning is on the left and the first one that we reached this morning is just over there. So basically, comparing the two, I prefer this one. It's much...
Okay, we have just emerged from that gully. That was quite an experience. A lot of rock climbing, a few class 3 sections, and we're heading up in this direction, which is the original saddle we came through after leaving Highway 165. So I'll let Jean-Luc give a more thorough explanation, plus naming the peaks that we can see.
Yeah, so you could see that this southern side is very steep and abrupt. Definitively not a good way to go there. But the other side, on the back of it, we saw that the descent was okay. That we will do one of these days. And I was very happy to choose to come on the right fork of this canyon, because it was a real adventure. You never know if it will be possible to do the next 30 yards. So be happy when you see 30 yards for free and then expect something bad after that. But we always find a way to go through. A little bit of climbing, but nothing bad. I really enjoy it. I love it. Now we are
much faster and much closer from the first saddle from the route 165 over there than the way that was the
There's the saddle, by the way.
yeah, this is the saddle on my back, but if you want to look here,
Okay.
on the back of this first ridge, this is where goes and flows the water of the right fork that we had to choose down below on the back of this rocky outcrop, the sharp one. So if you choose to go to the right gully, you will be on this saddle, and then you will be on the back of this ridge, reaching the second saddle that we aimed this morning, just on the back of this outcrop. And then you have to go down and goes up till the very first saddle of the hike. So very happy to do this gully. It was adventurous, it was fun, it was faster, and we are much closer now than from the exit of the canyon.
Yeah, and if you can look across here, the hills that we skirted, the base of these hills is the route that we took originally to the Lonesome Mountain or Peak. So yeah, we've been here before, but we just arrived by a very interesting, different direction that we never were sure along the way that it was going to work. And so we're very happy that we're here now, and it worked.
I mean, there were first down below there were very dense bushes and thick branches to push away, and the thorny things everywhere. Then I was expecting to see the two sides of the mountain coming closer and closer, and I was expecting to see a waterfall. Unfortunately, it wasn't a waterfall that we had to face. It was the collapsing rocks from the ridge over there that collapsed down below the canyon. That makes an impassable wall. But we came back a little bit, finding a way on the right of it, and then another difficulty just before exiting, and it was very fun. I really love it.
And by the way, who did you try to get a picture of about 5 times that kept eluding you?
So I will try to say it correctly, but forget me if I am wrong. I catch a owl.
Hey, all right.
Yeah?
Yes.
I did it correctly?
Uh-huh.
I would like to thank my teacher that repeat me 1,000 times how to say owl.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, you're going to lose your credit here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, onward. Let's
go.
Work our way up
We will
to the saddle.
I propose to you to do the last video on the top of the saddle to have a last look over the whole place.
Very good.
And we are just in time. It's 3:21. I think that I was expecting to be at the car at 4:30, but it will be 4:15 or something like that.
Yeah, so we're ahead of schedule here.
Yeah, because this route is much faster and not easier because you have to climb, but much faster than the other side of the mountain. So
yeah,
really,
not something we would have wanted to do in the dark.
Yeah, no, and especially because it was for me one of the last canyon that I don't try to do before. It was completely unknown to me. I knew that it will lead us here because I saw it from several summits around here. This whole place is amazing. Any peak you choose will be extraordinary. I really love this place. We met a owl, a herd of quail, some tiny birds, and what else? Both of us.
I don't know of any other.
But
Some bees.
Some bees. Yeah.
That indicated there's water.
Yeah, we don't see a single drop of water. I was expecting to find some, but now definitively a great place, completely decrowded.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we are searching for. And
Well, yeah, who's going to come here?
yeah. And you could have the thrill of the wilderness without
Driving 1,000 miles to get there.
yeah, it's close to the city. It's completely unexpected canyon, hidden canyon, you know. Eldorado Mountains deserve the trip, really.
Well, very good. Let me get the little bit of the contour of some of those caves up there. Yeah, I think that's where the owl lives, in one of those caves.
Owl. Very hard to say to me. Owl.
Owl.
I will dream of it tonight.
You'll catch it. And so, yeah, along with a whole lot of bat brothers, I bet. Okay, let's continue on to the saddle.
Okay.
Here we go. Yes, and as we approach the saddle, which is supposedly over this hill, or this ridge up ahead, I just have to remark that I think that if you count up all the rocks and boulders I've ever seen in my entire life, I surpassed that total count today. Yeah, there's a few of them. Okay, onward and upward. Okay, a little further up. And where is that saddle we're going over next? Right up there.
Yeah, well, there is this bouquet of yuccas.
Okay, where the sun is shining.
Yes, yeah, we follow the sun.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, here's some of the terrain we took on the way. See the gully that we took upward from the base of the peak. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to show you something.
Okay.
If you can come closer, you could see this inclusion of rocks inside of these brownish rock. This is volcanic ashes, and this is debris of the layers of the primitive ground when the volcanic eruption happened. So everything, oh, mosquito, one less on the earth.
No, not in this area.
Yeah, there's one. So when the eruption happened, it pushes from below all of the original layers, and then the magma find a way to the surface, and a huge explosion happened. So projecting in the air some big rocks called bomb, some smaller rocks until 6 millimeters in diameter. They have a specific name, and underneath it's considered as ashes. And here you could see a lot of inclusion from the original rock down below the volcano before the eruption. So it was pushed in the air and rained down on the surface, accumulating. You could judge by yourself the thickness of this thing.
Yeah.
So it's
a lot of
trillions of tons.
Yeah, a
and
lot
the
of
second
volume.
thing I want to show you is that I finally come back with one can. So I am happy of that, because it shows that not a lot of people came here, but the only people that came here find a way to trash a can.
Well, they probably came from the highway, carried that heavy can this far,
No,
drank their beer, and then went back.
no, it's impossible, because there's a several canyons parallel, perpendicular to this one.
Oh,
So
okay.
they have to come here, at least to the saddle,
Yeah.
and perhaps the water do the rest. I find it down below.
Mhm.
But, you know, okay. So,
Well, hopefully it quenched their thirst
yeah,
and it wasn't a July summer
Yeah.
day.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, and from around the saddle here, you can look down and see the pass that we took during our return trip. And so you pretty much see the route that we took on the way. We went up to this saddle and then we returned by way of the gullies to the left. And continuing onward, there's Jean-Luc silhouette
I have two.
in the waning sun collecting beer cans. Okay, in the waning light, it's about 4 o'clock. Here's a sweep of some of the area we traversed. And here is the truck. Conclusion of an amazing journey today. And as I said, it's the first, well, one of the first adventures in the area south of Las Vegas. So many more to come, but you can see what you're basically going to experience as different routes to these different high points. Vast area all around the Nelson benchmark area. Vast wilderness. Pretty awesome. More to come.